or be tourists coming and going without struggling. Because, as I said 2 days ago, yesterday, today also I'm saying, this way is all about struggling. Once you struggle, then the ease is going to come, the taste is going to come. This is struggle. What is it called? Jihadul Akbar. Struggle. We are here in this world to struggle. We are not here in this world to play. Once you struggle, you will know your Allah. If you don't struggle, you will not know Allah, you start worshipping yourself. It's the same thing with families. If you don't struggle, there's no history. If you don't struggle, everything is good, then you're going to crack under very stupid and silly things, small things. You're going to crack. If you struggle, you know what is important and you know what is not important. So the work that you're given, if you are doing that, if you're struggling and you're doing the work that you're given, you're not being a tourist coming and going, then you're going to make history. Then you're going to be part of that history. You're not just going to be bystander, just watching it. You're going to be part of that. The Sahaba Kiram, the higher their station was, more struggle they had. More struggle they had, higher the station was, more participation they had. Correct? Oh, no. And the struggling, it is not, oh, those days they struggle like this, we don't struggle like this, like them, so we miss out on that thing, so we can never catch up. No, what is in front of you, you struggle. What is given to you. You don't escape. Some people, they are supposed to be, but they keep escaping. So you're never going to make progress here or hereafter, and they know it too. They get very stuck. Because you see, it's very simple. What if Shaykh Effendi were to walk through the door, and spiritually he doesn't have to, he's here. We know. But if he comes and he says, what have you been up to for the past 6 years? Or some, they come 1 year, some 2 years, some 5 years. What have you been up to? What is that? You cannot be, as you know, as you like, you know everything. No. That kind of answer to that kind of question in that kind of situation, that is disobedience. That is arrogance. Because on Judgment Day, when Allah asks us, and you're going to say, you know everything. You're going to say that? You're going to be thrown to the hellfire immediately. If the person who is asking that question now, and struggling with that question, as we are taught what? What have you done for the sake of Allah today? The sign that especially Turkish people, they are putting from the Ottoman times, they put in their own houses. Every time they walk out of the house, they see that sign. What have I done for the sake of Allah today? You're running, you're earning, you're laughing, you're joking, you're doing everything, but your reality is there. What have you done for the sake of Allah today? Then you wake up and say, I didn't do anything. Let me sit down and say astaghfirullah. I didn't do anything. Let me try to make some tafakkur. Let me try to, pull myself back and not to be in ghafla. Remember my Lord more. You come back to your senses. Now, Shaykh is going to ask us, what have you done? 6 years. To show what is there. That everyone can answer by themselves. You don't have to ask me. You cannot fool yourself. That's why I'm asking. Don't let your shaitan to trick you, to fool you. This dunya will fool you. Oh, I cannot come because family is like this, because this is like this, that is like this. You're not struggling, huh? You don't want to struggle. Why are you here? Then don't be afraid. No, don't be surprised later because you're not struggling, that you're just going to fall off. Don't be surprised. Because you're not struggling and you're just coming as a tourist. There is no taste there. Then every time you come, you're going to, because you don't struggle, every time you come, it's going to be, that coming will be a struggle. You understand? Coming to a zikr, a sohbat is going to be a struggle. Oh, he's just going to wash me up again. Oh, he's just going to say this again. Because you're escaping the whole time, the whole weeks and months and years, and you come, and we're supposed to remind you. That time coming here to make zikr is going to be a struggle because you're escaping your whole life. But if you're struggling your whole life, you're trying to do something, that time you're not going to be bothered. You're We wash you or we don't wash you. You're not going to be bothered because you already did your work. No one can tell you nothing. Just as if you know your ego, you know what a donkey your ego is, and you're saying to your ego, I'm a donkey because of this and because of that. Person comes up to you and says, you're a donkey. You're not going to get upset. You're going to smile and say, you're right. My ego is a donkey. But if you're praising yourself, you think, oh, I'm an aslan. I'm a lion. I'm a lion all the time. I'm a lion. That time, when somebody says you're a donkey, you go, oh, no, I'm a lion. How you can say I'm a donkey? So it is the work, it is the struggle. The work in the path of Allah is a struggle. It must be a struggle. Every prophet, every saint in the way of Allah, it has to be struggle. Nothing that, no prophet and no saint in the way of Allah, suddenly, boom, everything is open and they do everything perfectly and easily. Nothing. No prophet and no saint. It's always a struggle. So we are walking in their footsteps. What are we struggling with? You say, I'm struggling just to come here. It says, okay, you're still very low level. Struggle with that. Struggling to come once a week. Then you can say, okay, I'm struggling like this. I'm doing. Once you have that, when you have that struggle, you're trying to do, what is your job now? You're trying to say, okay, now I'm coming here. That's all I can do. Okay, it should be a little bit better. Let me try to make it better. You're not going to get stuck. So let me try to make it better. Let me try to come a little bit earlier. Why? Everything is going to start at 9 o'clock anyway. So why would we have to come? What is that to do? There are a million of things for you to do. You can come and you can make zikr. What, you're going to lose something? You're coming to a dargah to make zikr, to be quiet. Or you're going to say, I'm going to come, for men and for women especially. I'm going to come a little bit earlier, and I'm going to be of service a little bit. I'm going to vacuum a little bit. I'm going to clean a little bit. I'm going to do something. Not rely on same people year in and year out. Doesn't matter you're young or you're old. So you start struggling. You start improving. You start changing. Then that will lead to another thing, will lead to another thing, will lead to another thing, and you become now part of this work, part of the building, part of the community, part of the mission. Maybe you're just coming. Say, hi, how are you? Welcome to you. Goodbye to you. Welcome to you. Goodbye. Year after year is going to be the same. You cannot do this. Then you can do something else. Those who cannot do anything else, what do? You bake bread. Bring some bread. We don't need bread, by the way. I'm not begging you to bring, but bring because it's coming from you, no? What else a person can do? Everyone here does so many things. So once you start doing that, once you start to struggle, then that time you will feel the kind of teaching that is going to come to you, the kind of closeness that is going to come to you, and that struggle of those ones who are before and those ones who are after, they are the same in the essence, maybe not the same in nature, but the same in essence. Because I'm only speaking to you what I've done. What did I do? That's what I did. I'm not speaking from any other mouth or any other. I'm speaking from what I'm experiencing. I'm saying, what can I do? I'm come once a week. I say, it's shame for me. What a dishonor for me just to come. My Shah is providing everything, and just to sit down and listen to him and eat and drink, eating and burdening him with problems, unloading every week with problems, and then to go back. I say, let me at least come a little bit early to do something, to sweep something, to do something for me, for my sake. This is what I did. So I said, you know what? And he didn't have to tell me all this. I'm going to do it by myself. The honor of a person is that he's not an animal that people have to force and say all the time to do something. The heart must move. Well, that's what we did. That's what I did. And I said, okay, let me just come before everyone does and set everything up and do everything. And I start. That's all I did for years, because I didn't live upstate when Shavani opened it. It was some years that passed that I went upstate. That's all that I could do once a week, directly in the service of my Shaykh. Not to say I love him and I have connection to him and I have dreams of him and I make zikr for him. That's beside the point. But what else is there can I say? At least I can say, I cleaned the toilet for you, my Sheikh. And it is an honor for me to clean the toilet for you. And that's what we did for years. I didn't want to leave anyone to do that. I wanted to do that. You saw when we first came. Who was there that set everything up? I'm not bragging. I'm saying this as a fact. And I enjoy doing it. I'm not saying you do that and you're going to be... I didn't do that to be rewarded, to become a Khalifa or to become a Wakil. I didn't do that to get rewarded. No. This is a matter of your shan. It's a matter of your honor. And a believer must have honor. How am I just going to come there to eat and to drink, to pray behind him, to get all the blessings, to unburden, unload all my problems on him, and then to go back week after week, month after month, year after year? I have no shame. I cannot even do anything. I don't know anything. I know how to sweep. Let me sweep. We know so many things. That's why we're looking. Some they cannot do anything. They can paint. They paint. MashaAllah. Something that is there. So at least, what did I do? What did this one do? What did this one do in all the years? They were saying this one couldn't do much, but the secret you pass on to that one. Look at all the pictures, the paintings, the portraits that he did. So that is proof, you understand? Because Sahaba Kiram, Holy Prophet ﷺ, they all did that. They didn't just sit around and make zikr. There's proof of something that they were building together. So what are you struggling with right now? If you're just coming and going, we'll see how long that's going to last. You're not going to feel too much anyway by yourself. And we're not going to push people to say, you got to do this, you got to do this. I'm not going to push people to do that. Because this is not an organization. This is not a tariqat for children also. You are adults. You are adults. You need to know. It's very simple. You don't want to know. That's because you're being stubborn and arrogant, not because you don't know. So in the early years, yes, it wasn't just coming once a week. People were living upstate. And when they're living upstate, the situation was also difficult. And a lot of people left too. They couldn't take it. They left, they came back, they left, they came back. And Shavani did not mix up also the two, between those who are upstate and those who are coming here. It's different. But the situation now with us, it is different too, because we're forming whatever that is here, whatever that is in California, whatever that is in China, whatever that is in England, we're forming our own community now. It's no longer just separate. That time you can connect. Through that labor, through that struggle, you will connect to not just the murids that met Shavani 10, 20 years ago, but you can connect to the awliya Allah of 100 years ago, of 1,000 years ago, of 1,500 years ago. You will connect to that because you're walking in their footsteps. That's exactly what they did. That's what they did. What do you think now? What is a dargah? It's a masjid. Those ones who came and they became Muslims, the Sahaba Kiram, the Ahli Sufa, what did they do? They stay in the masjid. You think they just stay in the masjid, they're pulling their tasbih? No. They came, they clean up. They make the masjid into a home. They served people. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly those ones who are running to do. You're walking the footsteps of the Ahli Sufa. But those who don't know nothing and you just want to be spoiled and idiot and just coming and going, that's all you're going to get. So many people say, oh, I'm not living in the dargah, what can I do, what can I do? And I give so many answers, what you can do. What can you do? You do. Don't say, I want to do something else. Don't look at something else. What can you do? You do. What can you do? Everybody here is good for something. It's America. No one can say, I don't know what I'm good for. I don't know what to do. Everybody knows what. One person can just put two stones together, two rocks together. That's your job. One person can say, I know electric work. That's what you're going to try to help. And say, okay, this one I can improve, this one I can improve. Then you're going to jump. Then you're making that struggle together. You're going to be part of that. If you don't, then you're just going to be a tourist. That time you can stay for 10, 20, 50 years. You're not going to feel nothing. They're not going to give you anything. Nothing. They're not going to give you anything. Because you're not putting anything. You're not putting your heart. Shaykh Effendi is putting his heart. He's putting his life. He's putting his energy. He's putting his passion. His laughter. His tears. He's putting everything in there. What are we putting? You understand? So once you start doing that too, like what the people in the early days, like you said, the difficulty, what do? We put in our labor, we put in our tears, we put in our laughter, we put in our joy, we put in our sadness, we put in everything, our passion, everything, you know, like our Shaykh is doing, then you're going to feel something. Because you say, now this is family. You go through all of that. It's not just friends, it's just going to a cafe, drink coffee and laughing and joking. It's what makes family family, because you have a history. You know each other in all different conditions. So, we have a lot of work that is ahead of us. Whether it is the dargah or other dargahs that we're building, whether it is people and their lives, everyone's lives that you're building. You all have a part to play with each other as well. So there's a million things to do. And how long are you going to run? How long are you going to run away? Because so many are chosen, not because of you also who think you're so great, but because of some secret that you're carrying from your ancestors, from your lineage that is put there. And some they're discovering, they run. Further they run, the greater the pull is going to come back. Then when it pulls back, it's like elastic. The force is so great coming back because you run too far. But it's also good. This is coming back. Alhamdulillah. As I said, this is. It may look like there's nothing when you're looking at it with these eyes. When you look at it with these eyes, there's a billion things for us to do. Billions of things for us to do. And that time you're going to find one small niche that is for you. Say, I can do this. You do it, and you do it well. What is in front of you? Do it well. Don't escape from it. In that time, they will teach you the knowledge that you don't know. Marifat will reach to you. You understanding what I'm saying? Inshallah, you understand. That's my experience. So, as you like again, as you like. It's not the way of forcing. But my duty is to say, and if you do it, you only win for yourself. وَمِنَ اللَّهِ تَوْفِيقٍ وَفَضْلٍ.